Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle French, financial advisor at Wealth Distribution Strategies. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the elections and its impact on the markets. This is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. References to specific portfolios should not be considered a recommendation. Data and analysis do not represent the expected future performance of any investment product or strategy. Investments do involve risk and including possible loss of principal. Please note that this video does not represent any political beliefs from our firm and is not intended to influence your political views. To kick things off, I really enjoy this slide here. Now, this is actually talking about what if we have a new president versus a re-elected president? What type of benefit or detriment does that have just in general? Now, on average, we see a 12.6% average rate of return when we have a new president versus a 7.4% rate of return on average when the incumbent is reelected. Since we know there's not going to be a reelected president this year, it's great to see that the last three new presidents have actually resulted in up 28.7%, 21.8%, and 26.5%, showing that there is very good strength for a new president entering into the White House. Next up, presidential approval ratings and the market's performance. Now, we've had two consecutive presidents have historically low approval ratings. But interestingly, it is best to actually have an approval rating between 35 and 50 for the most stock market success, compared to one that's actually over 50. Make that make sense. It is also interesting to see we haven't had a president with an approval rating over 50 in this century, proving how polarized our country has actually become. Market momentum has historically continued after a positive start to an election year. Now, some of you may know, but the S&P 500 was up 14.5% in the first half of 2024. Marking it as the best first half performance in an election year since 1976. When analyzing these trends, you'll also notice that when markets do well in the first half, they tend to have a great second half, with an average of up 7% in that second half. Of the 17 years of positive first half market performance in an election year, only 2 years resulted in a negative second half performance, showing strength for what is still to come for this year. A look at market performance during the U.S. presidential cycle. Now, election years tend to be great overall, averaging a 7% rate of return. Now, I find this interesting because I think there is a big misconception that we tend to see bad performance because of elections. It's actually kind of the opposite. We tend to see better performance due to elections. And historically, we see a better year of performance when a president is in their first term, which on average yields a 12.2% return for that specific year. Small caps, small size companies, historically speaking, actually outperform large size companies during presidential election years. So going back to 1980, U.S. small cap stocks have actually outperformed large cap stocks in 7 of the last 11 presidential election years. Since elections generate proposals of future policy changes in America, it tends to strike a chord more with smaller companies. Why? Well, this is because small companies primarily do business domestically, unlike large companies who may have a bigger foreign presence. These are 2 reasons why we've actually decided to add more to our small and mid-cap funds over the last couple of years. Now, where are we going with this? Well, stock markets have historically done well regardless of who is in office, which political party. As you'll notice, Democrats, Republicans, they can both do very well. So what is the moral of the story? Moral of the story is stay invested. Keep your emotions and your political views out of your investment portfolio. This is when people tend to make mistakes. So if the political party of not your choosing gets elected, that does not mean go to the exit. Historically speaking, you want to stay invested. And I thought this would be a great way to kind of wrap things up. Well, what else can drive stock market returns? Well, in the last 50 years, the stock market has actually done better if an AFC team wins the Super Bowl compared to an NFC team. Well, hey, good news. The Kansas City Chiefs won the latest Super Bowl at the beginning of 2024, and they're an AFC team. Maybe that's going to help us. Markets actually perform better in odd years versus even years, and not just by a little, but by a lot. Okay. What about if the groundhog sees its shadow? Well, in 2024, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow for the 21st time in the 138-year event, therefore predicting an early spring and apparently a great year for the stock market as well. He might have been right. Lastly, and most importantly, in the last 50 years, we have seen Republicans and Democrats evenly produce positive returns. Therefore, showing regardless of who is in charge, stocks do well. Okay. To wrap things up, I want to talk about some of our events that we have coming up. Okay. Our one here in October is our pumpkin decorating and carving contest. Please, if you haven't already, please submit your pictures to Brianne. Okay. Her email is bwilthie, WILHITE at wdstrategies.com. It's a fun contest. We love it if you can get the kids or the grandkids, nieces, nephews involved as well. But please get those pictures of your pumpkins submitted to Brianne by midnight of October 31st. In November, we are actually doing a supply drive. So we are benefiting the Specialty Care Free Clinic here in Madison, along with the Waukesha Free Clinic. So take a look at the items that are in need and please drop them off at the Verona or Brookfield office by November 30th. There are a number of supplies that they need, and they are doing amazing things for individuals and families that are in need. Our Next Gen 201 webinar is going to be kicking off. Luke Kraft actually did this last year. He's going to be hosting this one again. It is phenomenal. So anyone interested in learning about investing, specifically children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, you name it, okay? This is phenomenal information for them to learn. So please forward this on to them if you think that they would have any interest or are willing to learn. Okay, we don't have them posted yet, but we do know in January of 2025, we will have the Market Outlook event. Finally, please save this date. We are going to be doing our charity trivia event on Friday, May 2nd of 2025. Soon, we will be announcing the charity that we have selected, so be on the lookout for that. But all we ask for now is please put it in your calendar, Friday, May 2nd, for our annual charity trivia event. It has been a huge success, and we've raised tons of money for very, very great organizations and causes around the Madison area. Please, we would love it if you could attend. So please mark this on your calendar for Friday, May 2nd. And finally, we have started some WDS bulletins. Be on the lookout for those. We will have our next one posted in November. We would love it if you read through some of the important updates that are happening around WDS. That's it for now. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed and have a great night.